Hello there, fellow adventurer, Medicare beneficiary, and congratulations. You've climbed many mountains in your lifetime, and now you stand at the base of another, Medicare. Particularly today, Medicare Part A. And just like any mountain expedition, we'll start by checking our gear, understanding eligibility and premiums. Then we'll map out our route, exploring what exactly Medicare Part A covers. We'll also prepare for the unexpected, understanding out-of-pocket costs like copays, coinsurance, and deductibles. And of course, we'll survey the landscape by weighing the pros and cons of Medicare Part A. So strap on your boots, get some water, we're going for a journey. First on our list, we have Medicare Part A eligibility. So for Medicare Part A, usually you have to be 65 years or older to qualify for Part A. There are other disabilities and illnesses like end-stage renal disease and ALS, but for the most part, most people qualifying for Medicare Part A are 65 and older. For a complete list of all the qualifying illnesses and diseases, I'll leave that in the description below. Next on our list for Medicare Part A is premiums. So how much extra gear do you have to take with you on this mountain to actually be able to make it to the summit? Well, Medicare Part A has 3 different levels of premium depending on how long you've worked. If you worked for 10 years or longer and paid into the Medicare tax system, you will get what's called a premium-free Medicare Part A. In fact, 99% of people in the US who are on Medicare do not pay Medicare Part A premium. The next set of people who pay Part A premium have worked between 30 to 39 quarters and have paid into Medicare tax for that long. If so, you get access to a discounted Part A premium. And if you worked under 30 quarters, you will have to pay the full price of the Medicare Part A premium. Now, Medicare Part A premium does increase every year. So in the link down below, I have the most updated Part A premium. You can check it out. Next on our list for Medicare Part A, we have coverage. Now for coverage, it's kind of like an umbrella. You know how when you open up the umbrella, you still can get wet. There are certain things that Medicare Part A doesn't cover. But before we talk about what it doesn't cover, let's talk about what it does. Medicare Part A covers inpatient services when you're in the hospital. So if you get admitted into a hospital, that's where Medicare Part A kicks in. Also, Medicare Part A covers skilled nursing and home hospice. So those are the main things that Medicare Part A covers. Now, where are we going to get wet? Medicare Part A doesn't cover anything that's considered custodial services. So if you're in a hospital, in a skilled nursing home, and you aren't expected to get better with skilled help, like an RN or a doctor's care, with pretty consistent skilled care to get better, Medicare Part A will no longer pay for those services. Next for Medicare Part A is the coinsurance, co-payments, and deductibles. Fortunately, Medicare Part A really only has a deductible and some copays. And the way Medicare Part A deductibles, copays works is every time you get admitted to a hospital, you have an extremely high deductible. From there, that deductible covers you for a 90-day period in which you have the first 30 days at no additional cost under Part A. But from day 31 through 60, you will have a copay. And then from 61 through 90, you have a higher copay. Now, after day 90, you get into what's called lifetime reserve days. You have 60 of these lifetime reserve days. And if you're in the hospital beyond those 60 days, you will have to pay 100% of the services that you receive. But hang on, I know it sounds terrible. Medicare supplement plans, at least the one that I recommend, will practically eliminate all of these deductibles and copays for at least 365 days. Pretty awesome, right? But more on that later on in the video. Now, Medicare Part A pros and cons. Let's look around and see where our troubles actually lie. The first major con of Medicare Part A is that the deductible is extremely high. So as we're navigating this mountain, we can see that as soon as we run into problems, not only is it raining, got that umbrella, but the cliff that we have to climb is extremely high. In addition to that, When you've climbed that peak, you're only good for about 30 days. After that, you will be responsible for a relatively high copay that's a per day amount. In the year 2023, that amount is just about $400 a day after a $1,600 initial deductible. Another con of Part A is that Part A really doesn't cover things that you think about when you're in the hospital. If you are in the ER and you are not admitted to the hospital, Part A doesn't cover that. If you get surgery and it's in a hospital, but you don't get admitted and stay overnight, that is also not covered under Medicare Part A. Any diagnostic tests like MRIs, CAT scans, and lab tests that are done in the hospital are also not covered under Part A. They're covered under our next topic, Part B, but we'll get to that in the next video. And the last con for Medicare Part A is their skilled nursing care coverage. So in order to get access to the skilled nursing home, you have to spend a total of 3 nights in the hospital and require skilled care that's from a registered nurse or a doctor at least 6 out of the 7 days of the week. That means that your doctor, whoever's discharging you from the hospital, has to believe that you need to be seen almost every day for skilled nursing or skilled care. And that's not really what happens many times. Many times people are discharged to their home and somebody comes maybe 3 times a week to deliver physical therapy, and that physical therapy is also not covered under Part A. Now the pros of Medicare Part A, it's not that bad, believe me. Medicare Part A's deductible, while really high, covers you for 30 days. Usually the Part A deductible is 4 times what the daily copay is after day 31. So you're getting a pretty good deal right off the bat. Another pro of Medicare Part A is that it's very simple. They don't really nickel and dime you for every little thing. Whenever you're in the hospital, you've paid the deductible, all the services required, scans, MRIs, doctor visits, meals, and your room charge are all included in that one-time deductible. And what can you do about those high deductibles? Well, what I usually recommend if you're worried about the high deductible is purchasing what's called a Medicare supplement plan. Now, the 2 plans that I recommend will completely eliminate the Part A deductible and the copays for 1 entire year. Yes, 365 days. If you're in the hospital and Medicare Part A is still covering you, you'll be happy to know that you are not responsible for any charges. Now, if Medicare Part A no longer extends coverage to you while you're in the hospital, then the Medicare supplement plan will also stop paying as well. So you still have to be under Medicare Part A's rules as far as the medical necessity of you being in the hospital, except with the Medicare supplement plan, you won't have to pay any more money. Well, that's it, everyone. We've reached the top of the Medicare Part A mountain. Now we can relax and learn about Medicare Part B. We'll see you in that video.